Welcome to another Singapore Real Estate Explained. Where right here, Joey is laughing at me because I took over his role as a host. But nonetheless, we're going to share with you the upcoming real estate market trends in a joking manner.
No.
It's
Singapore's real estate
Explain. That's why I can't start this video. Okay, so may we have Jervis to start the host, please.
Alright, so welcome to this episode. I'm sorry if you're on podcast, but yeah, this is how we survive our 17-year-long friendship.
I don't know why I'm still here.
Chris's number one goal in life was to bring joy to people, remember?
Oh yeah.
And you see, I want to be a joke. That was his calling. Yeah.
No,
so welcome to this episode of Singapore's Real Estate Explained, where we do our best to break down, real estate. I forget everything. Where we try our best to give you objective advice, break down some new launches, and give you some bite-sized information, right, about real estate. Today, we're going to talk about something that may be a joke, but it's not a joke, because this is every single year question.
Yep.
And we're going to just put
overrun
the nail.
The coffin.
Put the nail into the coffin. Correct.
Yes.
Yes, we compliment that way.
Not the coffin to the mill.
Not the coffin to the mill. Put the nail into the coffin to explain to you freehold or leasehold better. Wow, I think this one, sorry, I cried a lot. But thanks for cheering up my day.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so freehold or leasehold is better, right? And I think that this is something that we got to get it sorted out. So we have none other than our Director of Investments, Christian O, who'll be sharing with us his opinions on freehold versus leasehold, which is better. Take it away.
Right. So let's start. So first thing first, let's define what is freehold and leasehold, which I think is an overrun topic. A lot of people are talking about it.
Yep.
So freehold basically just means it's free to hold.
Hey, how do I get out of this point?
Okay, relax. Okay, so freehold actually means basically you can own the property, you have land on it, you have space of the property, and typically you can hold it for long term without all the way without any obligations.
Yeah.
In fact, there's different terms like estate, fee simple, etc. But we don't go deep into it.
Yeah.
Next we have leasehold. Leasehold usually a 99-year.
Yes.
99-year, and you own a property, but not the land or the building the property is in.
And there are some developers who actually own freehold land, but they actually sell the 99 years tenure.
Yes, indeed.
So these people are really generational developers.
Yes, indeed.
Because they are holding more than 100 years for their kids, their grandkids, their grandkids, and their grandkids.
Grandkids, yeah.
That's right.
And typically this is usually 99-year. There's 999-year also for leasehold, but those are usually typically considered as freehold because it's a very long time.
Yeah, 999. There's some 103 years also.
103 years for leasehold. Correct.
Yeah.
All right. So in terms of leasehold tenure, some definition. It basically gives a property owner the right to use and occupy a property. Usually 99 years. Okay, that's most of the case. Or 99 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So at the end of 99 years, this ownership is reverted back to the state.
So what happens when the property reaches its 99 years mark?
Yep.
This is what happens. An excavator will come with a wrecking ball, and the wrecking ball is going to whack the building.
All right.
And then the owners have only 3 options.
They run.
No, they can't run.
Oh yeah.
They should have already ran.
Oh yeah, they ran a long time ago.
Lease somewhere else, stay with their family, or buy somewhere else. This was stated in Parliament.
Yes, indeed.
So a lot of our clients actually cannot be 99 years over already. And there are some, there was a row of residential units at Geylang that reached this, I think a year or 2 years ago.
Landed.
And what happened was that the direction from Parliament was this: you lease, you buy, or you stay with your family. So this is already a precedent in Singapore's history already.
Indeed.
So if you are still having this concept about 99 years, government will give you something free, it's not true lah. Because government has already done what they had to do to warn you about it already. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And in fact, but most of the cases, in real life, condominium, etc., before hitting 99-year, a lot of this condo, in fact, will go through this called en bloc.
En bloc, yes.
And usually developer pay this thing called land premium to top up the lease back to 99 years.
Yes.
So that, the property can be up for sale again as a new launch.
Yes.
So for now, up to now, there hasn't been a condominium that had reached 0 years. But then that's what Joyce mentioned. You hit 99 years, typically it goes back to 0 by the state law.
So there are 3 things that happens. Number 1 is a reversion without compensation, as you can see from the slide. Number 2 is that leasehold owners pay a land premium. I'm helping you click the next slide. To SLA to extend the duration of the lease, which is possible, right? Upon SLA's discretion, or what Chris mentioned, en bloc happens. And pro tip, usually the prices are the most bullish, and it's always one of the best time to sell if you have no certainty that the en bloc is going to happen, right? Upon usually the first or second news of en bloc, you will see prices soaring. because of speculation.
Indeed. And that's when en bloc wise, I mean, it's a very big topic. How to look at the right en bloc properties. If you are keen to find out more, you can actually approach any of our agents.
And can I just share with you one story about Breadeview?
Yes, sure.
Breadeview is a beautiful place, right?
Yes.
So I had a client who she is employed and she saved a lot of money.
Yes.
She invested in 2 units at Breadeview. If I'm not wrong, it's one at Block G and one at Block H. If I'm not wrong, that was like 4 years ago. And there were news about en bloc happening. As you know, Breadeview had 2 separate plots, right?
Yes, indeed.
And what happened was the prices, even though the valuation then was, if I'm not wrong, 1.2 million, it soared all the way to 1.8 million.
Wow.
And we got an offer for both units. One at 1.78, one at 1.75. Original condition, no renovation done. The owner held firm. He said, I'm going to wait for en bloc, right? But of course, based on our en bloc analysis, we know that sometimes the plot is too big, it's very hard to en bloc, right? And we also done our calculations and everything. DC charge the developers have to pay, what's the estimated units? Are there going to be growth potential if a new development were to come in? And after I think there's a 3rd round or 4th round failed, right? You know how much the price dropped to?
1.6.
No wonder it's on the director of investments. It dropped all the way to about 1.5 to 1.6. I witnessed how she lost 300k per unit. And now it's just waiting for en bloc, but it's already how old? Breadeview, I think it's like, let me get the exact time.
Close 45.
Yeah, I think it's already 40 plus years old already. Let me see how old this is. Completed in the year 1981. So you're right. Wow, this guy is 42 years old.
42.
Yeah. So now it's only 50 years left.
Yep.
And as the lease gets smaller and lesser, developers will definitely pay lower and lower.
Yeah, because they need to pay a higher land premium.
100%. Yeah.
All right. So that's the hard truth for the
Spanish Village also. I got another story, but I'm not going to share that. Too many stories to share.
Stories
but honestly, the valuation was at 2. We saw at 2.5 during the higher speculation. Even until the MCST chairman actually looked for us to help him sell his home because en bloc was not happening.
Back then.
Yep.
All right. Okay, next, let's take a look at freehold tenure. Freehold tenure gives the property owner the right to use, occupy the land. And I mean, there's no need of having the fear to the fact that it will be taken by the states or any kind of like land premium. Don't have to be paid for the land if they want to extend the lease because it's freehold. Okay. And basically, this is something to take a look at. So the key thing for freehold, if you must take note, is it's not about freehold or leasehold. I mentioned, I think it's a very big topic, but I usually look at this concept of entry price, which I mentioned again and again in our podcast and also in our video. So the question is, source of profits, usually comes from 2 sources. One is capital gain.
Yes. Capital appreciation or
capital appreciation.
Yep.
Correct. So you're buying low and sell high.
Sell high.
Wow. Sounds like an ad.
Sounds like an ad also.
Yeah. Meanwhile, rental yield, which is low cost, high income.
Yes.
Which means every single like dividend yield.
Yep.
And usually for real estate, there's this thing called leverage, which I mean, we share more next time about how leveraging works.
Yep.
You can typically get even a 8 to 9% return just from rental itself, and even netting all the costs involved.
Yes.
So these are some things that we are always looking at. That's why I love real estate investments.
Yes.
Yeah. And the key thing is, this
is what we have gotten the investment team to plot and chart. And after charting out to compare all the districts, right, you will realize that actually the rental yield for freehold and 99 years is actually similar. But in fact, since 2020, leasehold 99 years has outbeat freehold in terms of yield.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So it's a myth that freehold property is better.
Yeah.
And later on, you're going to figure out that it's also a myth to say that leasehold property is better. Actually, Chris mentioned what is the key just now already. If you haven't, we just move the video back a little. If not, at the end, we're going to do a quick summary.
I think.
Yeah, in a 1 minute mark. Yeah. Tell us more about rental income. Yeah.
Okay. So why we see that 99 outbidding freehold is because two main reasons. One is, number one, the reason is the tenant do not really care about tenure.
Yep.
Is it freehold or leasehold?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, they just need a space.
Yeah, and the facilities.
The facilities. So as long as everything by the same, freehold and leasehold does not differentiate you for a tenant rental you.
Yes. And for simplicity's sake, what we did for the rental yield calculation is to help you take the rental income per year divided by property price. But I want to share with us a little bit more. How do we then calculate this accurately? This is for simplicity's sake, but what are some of the expenses that we're going to deduct?
Okay, we actually talk net rental. So net rental also includes, you minus away the MCSC fee, maintenance fee, minus away the property tax.
Prop tax.
And also other things like even some
brokerage
income tax,
fee even,
brokerage fee.
Yeah.
All these tax need to be factored in.
Yes.
So Yeah, then multiply by 12, and for monthly income multiply by 12, divided by property price.
Yes, and one fun fact is that recent months, while investing for some of our investors, we have been identifying some of the properties where the rental can actually cover the mortgage best and even better, getting some cash flow sometimes.
Yeah,
right.
Even with the high interest rate environment.
Yeah,
yeah. And back to the second reason, back to this graph. Okay, recently, most of the freehold prices have been outbeating the leasehold by quite a lot. Somewhere 30, even 40%.
Yeah.
We notice in the market.
Yeah.
So naturally, although the same price is bought for the new launches, but since the price is much cheaper for leasehold, at the same rental yield, naturally we see the average rental yield being higher for leasehold than freehold.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And next, in terms of leasehold, you'll notice that because the government has stopped releasing freehold title under GIS due to land scarcity, we see that a lot of the developer nowadays, they're all looking at leasehold property.
And it's indeed true that when you see leasehold condominiums, right, they always have better economies of scales, right? Because they bought the land cheaper last time, and they always have new, large, high quality swimming pools, gyms, and playgrounds.
Correct. And the reason also because government like to launch bigger plot of land now for GIS.
Yes.
And GIS, as you know, government land sale is all 99 years. There's no more freehold.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when it comes to this newer condo, it had larger, high quality gyms and playground. And tenant are willing to pay a premium for that.
Usually they love better facilities, right?
Yes.
Recently I went to the Sale at Marina.
Yes.
Wow, the facilities are great.
Okay,
decent. Actually decent. But for District 1, it's not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah, of course, don't compare to your Marina 1. I think the Marina 1 is, of course, blockbuster launch.
Thank you for the highlight. All right. Okay. Then, meanwhile, okay, as I mentioned just now, freehold condo usually costs a premium.
Yeah.
That's going to leasehold. So that's why naturally, you can see the freehold premium is around 20-30% higher, 20-30%.
Yes.
So naturally, although in general, the rental is the same, but freehold, because the cost is higher, the rental will naturally be lower. Okay. So there's one to take note. Okay. So we're highlighting the pros and cons. Okay.
So now let's share with you why freehold may be better. We share with you the reason why rental yield of leasehold may be better, but let's talk about why freehold may be better. And I think we best look at Bala curve. Bala curve is something that we always have to go back to in real estate investments.
Now, so one score for leasehold. Now let's take a look at freehold. Why freehold may be better. Because what we notice is there's something called Bala curve, which based on the lease of the year left, okay, what I notice is that the value of the property will drop. Okay, this is in general. Assuming there is no inflation, assuming there's no market cycle, there's no demand supply curve. This is a very fundamental way of looking at leasehold relationship as compared to the price. So what we notice is at the start of the first 30-40 years, we see that the drop is a bit more gentle. But reaching the 50 years onward, you see the drop is much steeper.
It's always very exponential after that. Correct.
And the rationale is because one is in terms of the demand. Okay. And second is also in terms of it's like a ticking time bomb. They are closer to zero. So people are more desperate to sell.
More wary.
More wary.
More wary to buy.
Also more wary to buy. So it's something that we need to take note. So that's why in terms of freehold, one good thing is you don't have to really bother about this because freehold at the end of the day is long-term hold. Free to hold forever. Free to hold forever.
So now we see a 1-1. 1 point to leasehold, 1 point to freehold. Okay, let's talk about the other one, the scarcity of land.
Okay. Another point for freehold is currently there's no more, very little freehold land. No freehold land, they'll be out. All the new land that's come out from government is all held by government today. Okay, by Government Acquisition Act long time ago. And when they launch, it's all 99 years. So government will no longer launch freehold land. So this scarcity of new freehold land, talk about long-term hold, it produce a much better result because it is scarce. Okay, and in fact, fun fact, for 99 years, if you were to borrow a loan, okay, once you hit past 50 years old, it's getting harder and harder to borrow loan. In fact, they will take the
40 years from launch.
40 years from launch. So it's around, usually, for example, it's 50-year-old left. What the bank will do, they will take the remaining lease minus away 20 years. Okay, that's for DBS. And that's based on what we know. But some banks can take minus 30 years. So instead of the normal 30-year loan, you can borrow 20 to 25.
Wow, and that greatly increases your monthly mortgage as well.
And also, it will also hinder buyers who want to buy.
100%.
So take note, and once you are 30 years or less lease, CPI can no longer be used to finance a property. So this makes it even harder for 99-year condo to exit if you go down the rabbit hole and it become less.
So there's 2 points for freehold and 1 point for leasehold.
Alright, so this is the part to take note.
So we are seeing that freehold has 2 points, 1 point to leasehold. And let's talk about capital gains.
Yeah, and see whether leasehold can have a comeback.
Yes.
Okay,
hopefully.
but right now, okay, it's very interesting to understand that freehold may not be better sometimes, okay? And in this case, not saying freehold is not good, but rather transaction volume may be unclear.
Yeah.
So it's undetermined in the sense that because the number of transaction volume, just to say in 2022, okay, it's only 6,600 freehold.
Yes.
14,000 leasehold.
Yes.
Okay. And the average price of 2023 spread over 190 freehold.
And 450 leasehold. So there are way more leasehold transactions than freehold, which is obvious lah, because there are more leasehold projects as well. But if you see the chart in orange, right? The chart in orange, actually, we are talking about leasehold properties. Blue is the freehold properties. And you see that actually they're neck to neck in terms of performance. And if we head on to the next slide, you see the actual comparison in the past 14 years. You know, sometimes you see chart, right? And then there are some charts where you see freehold outperform leasehold or leasehold outperform freehold, right? It's because it honestly depends on the which year you take lah. You know, some years do better than the other. But what we did is that we took 14 years, right, till 2021. We shared about 2022 and 2023 previously. You see, actually, the comparison-wise, the difference have 1%.
1%.
And honestly, we see some freehold properties making millions. We also have seen leasehold properties making millions.
And losing millions.
Losing millions, both also have, right? Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you can see it's tied right now. I mean, it's very close.
Yeah.
If we see in the end of the day, the freehold property is slightly lagging behind for leasehold. But honestly, if I really consider this, it's a tie.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, as I mentioned, it's not freehold or leasehold, but it's very specific to the development itself and also the entry price rather than looking at freehold or leasehold.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
So now we have a tie. Yeah. So it's still freehold in a win for 1 point.
Actually, not really lah. Actually, leasehold and freehold, that one is 0.5 each. So it's 1.5 to 2.5.
All right.
Because it's undetermined, right?
So right now, would leasehold have a comeback? Stay tuned. Okay, so next we have capital gains. Why freehold may not be better. Okay, as I mentioned, as our transaction volume makes performance unclear. So when low transaction volume, okay, it will inflate. Okay, and one bad thing also for low transaction volume is that because there's very little transaction hedge within a freehold development. So typically, sometimes when buy into a freehold, maybe for some people would like to hold for long term, they don't want to sell. So maybe you sell a freehold right now, maybe in the next 2-3 years, there could be even cases, especially smaller developments, people do not want to let go. People don't want to sell. So there's very little transaction to hedge against. So there's something that makes freehold maybe on the downside, but I say it's not really a bad thing.
Yes.
It's rather something that you must keep in mind when it comes to buying a freehold and looking for short-term flip.
And interestingly, if you take a look at the top 10 leasehold or top 10 freehold performance properties, right, you will see that most of the leasehold properties, right, are actually nearing the OCR region. And then most of the freehold properties are actually nearing the CCR or even the border of the RCR region, right? You see like Chelsea Grove is actually in the RCR region, very near the CCR. New Futura, the Nassim, you know, all of these places are actually in the CCR region as well. So what we're trying to say is this, right? One of the worst performing projects in the entire Singapore is a 99-year in Orchard. We're not going to say what project is this. And fun fact, one of the projects that lost millions in Singapore is also a project in Orchard. And it's freehold. So what we're trying to share with you is this. Later at the end, we're going to summarize for you. Stay till the end, okay? Stay till the end, okay?
Right.
So let's go on to the next slide. Honestly, which is better? Right? Let's talk about it, Chris.
All right. So currently, you can see we obviously made it this way because leasehold is now on tie with freehold at 2.5 and 2.5. So currently, at the end of the day, to be sum things up, okay, which is better? The key thing is looking at your time frame, okay, of holding. Okay, if you're looking at something or you want something a higher rental yield, okay, low in terms of no freehold premium, okay, you want to hold a short-term period of time, a 99 makes no sense because it's just a 3-year, 4-year flip. I mean, if I buy the right entry price and exit, okay, and typically this 3 to 7 years, a kind of a holding period, you don't really care much about land depreciation, so not as much. So in this case, a 99 may seems to be more applicable for you, a short-term flip. But if you're looking for more of like a long-term hold, especially it could be a last property. It could be, I mean, you look at generation wealth, you look at something that is more of a long horizon. So the long-term scarcity mindset, I mean, a freehold may
because of freehold supply, right?
Supply. It seems to be a longer-term kind of approach. They can make more than a 99 free leasehold they're holding for a long time. In some cases, 99 may stagnate if your entry price is wrong. So good thing is also in terms there's no reversion of premium payment and there's no land depreciation. So in this case, it really depends on the situation. It may make sense for you to buy a freehold.
So this is a very safe answer.
Yes.
Right, where we talk about if you are looking to hold short term, you are going for, you should consider leasehold. And if you're looking long term, you're going for freehold. Let me give you my answer. And this is my absolute answer, okay? It doesn't matter whether it's a leasehold or freehold.
Absolutely correct.
Most importantly, it has to go back to what your investment philosophy is. I completely agree that if you're going for a short term flip, right, go for something that has high transaction volume. Safer because you can liquidate easier, right? And there's just this slew of investment philosophy that we use to choose whether is it leasehold or whether is it freehold, right? If you go through all our investment videos throughout, we talk about freehold premium. We talk about what is the percentage based on the specific district you got to account for when analyzing, when choosing a leasehold property or freehold property. With the freehold premium, you already know whether is this leasehold property a steal or whether this freehold property is a steal.
Right.
Then it goes back to choosing, firstly, bigger developments. Secondly, how to identify the accurate entry price, and go all the way down to identifying based on the pricing what you need to choose. If you haven't gotten it by now, most importantly, when it comes to real estate investments, it all depends on a lot of factors, not just leasehold or freehold.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah. So I hope that we can end this age-long debate. Some people are saying, no lah, freehold outperform. Some people are saying, no lah, leasehold outperform. It is not true. They are neck to neck. We have showed you the prices ever since pre-subprime. So that being said, give me one sentence summary.
Summarize. Forwards.
Lah.
It does not matter.
Shit.
Is that okay?
Damn.
Okay.
He has mixed feelings. Because when I say shit, he's like, is that bad? When I say damn, he's like, is that good? Okay, so that's good, right? It doesn't matter, right? For me, it's very simple. Make an appointment with us, AJ.
Okay.
It's true lah. How can we tell you what is good? You know, we have analyzed like hundreds of developments, and different development is different pricing, different price. We hope that we can just break down everything that we know, right, and everything that we have seen, right, to you. You know, if we can do it in a book, we will sell a book rather than do all the real estate transactions, right? But it's not possible because market shifts, prices are different. Some units are actually more negotiable than other units, and the base price of some developments differ for different units. So, 怎么讲? Very hard to say. There's so many things you got to consider in real estate investment, yes, right? Indeed. If you are just going for, freehold is actually better, leasehold is actually better, maybe District 15. Yes, I talk about how freehold is better in District 15 because in the past years, freehold have outperformed. But it's also true that because there are plenty of freehold properties there in District 15, and the 99 years there are also doing well. So ultimately, it's about choosing the right unit. So if I choose one sentence, actually I say one whole paragraph already. One essay. Yes. My sentence is this. It doesn't matter. Actually, it matters lah. For some developments. Why Chris say it doesn't matter, right? I believe it's because if that is your key determinant to buying property, you may hear it from your grandfather or your father because in the past, freehold land is really better than leasehold because the price is similar. Yep. But right now, where developers are really slapping on a premium, it really doesn't matter. Choose the right development, choose the right unit, understand what are the key factors you're looking at when it comes to try and proven, when it comes to real estate investments, follow all of them religiously, and that gives you a profitable investment. It's like an equation, right? Yep. Give me a chemistry equation. Come, you are a chemistry scholar.
Chemistry, E equal MC square.
Is that chemistry?
That is a physics.
I would have fainted.
Energy equal to the mass times lights to the power of 2. Okay.
Give me a chemistry equation.
A chemistry equation.
Yeah.
Okay, let's give a real estate equation instead.
You forgot chemistry equation.
Chemistry equation. Let me think. Wow, it has been a long time. Now I prefer building chemistry people instead.
Okay, great. Okay, let's talk about, let's say, A plus B plus C plus D equals to U.
Wow, okay.
You're telling me that with freehold and leasehold being factor E is going to be equals to U. And U is profitability of the real estate investment. Right. You need A, you need B, you need C, you need D together, added on together to get U. You can't have one or two of the four.
Yep, you're right.
This is real estate investments for you.
Yes.
Okay? So that's the reason why we started Singapore's Real Estate Explained. The reason behind that is because we just want you to know as much as we know so that you can make the right decision. We have seen horror stories in real estate investments. We have seen amazing stories, life-changing stories of real estate investments. As millennials, 2 millennials, if you're watching this, or if you're sending this to your family or your parents, we just want to let you know this. Real estate investments can change lives, but they also can destroy lives, even in today's market.
Yep.
Yeah? So let's hope that this channel or this series will be able to change your life. All right.
Indeed.
So, any last words for our audience?
So to conclude,
Yes.
I guess freehold and leasehold is just part of the equation.
Yep.
I guess the only thing that it factors in is the freehold premium when it comes to calculating entry price.
Yes.
But we need to look at real estate investment as a whole, not just whether freehold or leasehold.
And absolutely. And also freehold premium differs in different districts and different areas as well, right?
Yes, indeed.
All right. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Singapore's Real Estate Explained, where we try to break down for you freehold versus leasehold, whether it matters or not. And, if you feel that this episode has benefited you, give us a like, share, comment, do whatever you want to do.
Yep.
Let us know some of the topics that you want us to talk about as well. I think, we have so many content lined up, but we also want to know what are some of the things you want to hear about. It can be super micro, it can be super macro as well. So thank you so much for watching this episode of Singapore's Real Estate Explained. This is Jarvis.
This is Christian.
And we hope to see you for the next one. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.